Yvette Cooper blames the French after 1,200 people crossed the Channel in a single day as PM Starmer says people have every right to be angry. The Home Secretary came under fire in the Commons after almost 1,200 people reached the UK in small boats on Saturday, the first four-figure daily tally this year. Hello viewers, welcome to UK Pancakes. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell so you don't miss any insights about UK elites. Saturday's crossings brought the provisional annual total so far of migrants who have made the journey to 14,812. Ms. Cooper told MPs she had been in contact with her French counterpart Bruno Retailleau about the disgraceful and unacceptable scenes on the beaches. It came after PM Keir Starmer publicly acknowledges the scale of the problem. Writing on social media site X on Monday, the Prime Minister said, "You have every right to be angry about small boat crossings." Starmer angry. "I'm angry too. We are ramping up our efforts to smash the people smuggling gangs at source." He claimed hundreds of boats and engines had been seized, raids on illegal working were up, and almost 30,000 people had been returned. But Tory leader Kemi hit back, responding, "Rubbish. Even the Defence Secretary admits the Gov has lost control of our borders." It came after a leading member of France's governing party has described Britain as an El Dorado for migrants with a very weak asylum policy. The comments made by Eleanor Carroit, 39, on Monday are particularly significant because she is a close lieutenant of President Emmanuel Macron and Vice President of the National Assembly's Foreign Affairs Committee. The Renaissance Party member was asked if a generous benefits culture and lax controls meant the UK was still an El Dorado, the mythical city of gold in South America. Ms. Carroit replied, "It is. It's a complex situation, people want simple solutions, but you have to go to Calais and see what it looks like, and how many small boats you have and how many people are waiting to go to the UK. So, of course, there is a part that can be improved in France, and we're working towards that. But I also think the UK needs to take responsibility, because it is so attractive on these migrant routes today, and we actually need to work together instead of blaming each other." Some 1,195 migrants arrived in 19 boats on Saturday, bringing the provisional annual total so far of migrants who have made the journey to 14,812. This is 42% higher than the same point last year, 10,448, and 95% up from the same point in 2023, 7,610. It is still lower than the highest daily total of 1,305 arrivals since data began in 2018, which was recorded on September 3, 2022. At Grave lines in northern France, more than half a dozen French police officers simply stood by and watched as migrants waded into the sea and scrambled on to an inflatable boat. French authorities said they rescued 184 people. Britain had agreed a deal in 2023 under the last Tory government to pay France £480 million over 3 years to stop the crossings, including £175 million in the current financial year, more than £480,000 per day. Speaking during Home Office questions today, Ms. Cooper said, "Criminal gangs will likely have made millions of pounds this weekend alone. The gangs are increasingly operating a model where boats are launched from further along the coast and people climb in from the water, exploiting French rules that have stopped their police taking any action in the sea. This is completely unacceptable. The previous government raised this with France for years, but to no avail, and I have raised it with the French government since the summer. The French Interior Minister and the French Cabinet have now agreed their rules need to change. A French maritime review is looking at what new operational tactics they will use, and we are urging France to complete this review and implement the changes as swiftly as possible. I have been in touch with the French Interior Minister who supports stronger action again this weekend, and there are further discussions underway this week." As he made a major defense speech in Glasgow this morning, the Prime Minister was asked if the government was failing to keep the UK safe in the English Channel. He replied, "In relation to border security, I want to be really clear. Nobody should be making that journey across the Channel, and it's our duty to make sure that we ensure that they don't. We are working very closely with our counterparts in France and elsewhere to take further action in northern France, and of course, we are giving enhanced powers to our own law enforcement through the Borders Bill, which is currently going through Parliament. Speaking about the previous government's Rwanda plan, Sir Keir insisted it didn't deter anybody. He added, "I'm not up for gimmicks. I'm up for the hard work of working with partners, enhancing the powers that law enforcement have, in my determination to take down the gangs that are running this vile trade." But she denied that France was failing to stop the problem, saying the two nations must stop blaming each other. Ms. Carroit said the UK has suffered as a result of Brexit, with the UK no longer able to return people to the EU under the Dublin regulations, a key agreement between European nations. She told the BBC, "The numbers have been increasing since Brexit after the UK is no longer part of the Dublin regulation and has a very weak asylum policy. This made it easier to return migrants with no right to be in the UK," she said. The French politician said, "It's a complex situation, people want simple solutions, but you have to go to Calais and see what it looks like, and how many small boats you have and how many people are waiting to go to the UK. So, of course, there is a part that can be improved in France, and we're working towards that. But I also think the UK needs to take responsibility, because it is so attractive on these migrant routes today, and we actually need to work together instead of blaming each other." Thanks for watching till the end. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. We hope to see you in our next UK Pancakes.